The WWC, what the world is watching.
Migration time comes up and a lot of people's anxiety spikes. So let's see if QB can help you have an easier journey to your next home. Let's get into it.
600 plus days of last war grinding, battles spawned, lessons learned, strategies mastered. When we talk, you level up. Welcome to the Warzone Wrecking Crew.
Welcome everybody to the WWC. QB18 here, and I am here to talk about migration. Transfer time starts in Season 2. You have Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, and now Season 5. I can tell you that I have gone through migration each time. Many different reasons. Get into that on our live. I won't be getting into that in this video. This video is to really help you migrate safely and easily without having a bunch of anxiety. So a lot of people feel uncomfortable. They've never gone through this, or they have. They don't know what to do. I had a team approach me. Somebody was put in charge of their transfer. They were overwhelmed with it, and I was able to help them find a home as well as my own team. So that's kind of like my fifth migration, really. But anyway, let's get into what you should be doing if you're going to migrate. You really want to find the right server for yourself, and what server will that be will depend on many things. So a good place to start and take time, and let me just say that too, is this process, if you're going to do it properly, takes time. Okay, you can't just rush and say, I guess I'll go here. Well, then when you get there and it's a crappy experience, really you got to look in the mirror, because you didn't take the opportunity to follow a proper process when you were transferring. So let's go into some of the things you can do. First, understand the entire transfer process, okay? This is going to let you know all the servers here. And how did I get here, by the way? I clicked on details and then this little eye over here next to transfer Warzone group, and you can click on that. You're able to see the Warzone number here, the transfer points, which means how strong the server is. The higher the score, the better. It lets you know the status, which is either fully open, which, you know, they are not very strong and they're just completely fully open, or they are semi-open, which means they have a limited amount of chairs for white chairs, blue chairs, purple, and gold. And limited open, which they're even more strict because they're so powerful. Okay, you'll hear a lot about this across YouTube in regards to developers aren't doing this and they're not doing that, and they should just combine these servers together and that will solve the population. But what they don't take into account, a lot of people don't understand, when you have a server or president of a server that is trying to build a culture and trying to build things within their server the proper way, by just aimlessly and irresponsibly throwing a lot of people from another server into that is not a good process. You've actually worked against that person that loves this game and tried to build an entire server. And because you threw in a bunch of people that might not want to be there, or they might not want them there, you've now really slapped them on the hand for doing all this work in building a proper server for the game. So really, to me, just openly combining the servers is irresponsible, and you don't understand the game fully and how to build a server if you're recommending that. But they do need to expand some things, maybe add some more chairs and things like that to give people an opportunity to build a little bit faster. I think that is true. It would be nice to see. I think some of these ultimately strong servers are already where they are. I think you have weak servers like these that are fully open, and maybe people aren't looking to rebuild these servers, and it's kind of a waste for people to be in here. But guess what? The people that are in there have every reason. They can leave whenever they want. The Alliance store offers you free tickets. So if they really want out of there, then they can leave. There's no problem. If they don't, then let them be. And let that happen. The other thing is, we play in a game that gets money, and people are going to buy tickets when they want to transfer sometimes. So the game's earning a lot of money from the way that they're doing migration currently. But In any case, people are migrating. We're not having an issue. We're moving, and we're very happy, including myself, very happy this transfer that we found a new home. That's awesome. So how do you fit into these servers is going to be the experience that you want. So fully open server is going to be not strong at all. There are advantages to that maybe for yourself. If you are a free-to-play or low spender and you find yourself unable to win a lot of fights or don't want to participate in a lot of these other alliances and these people in these semi-open and limited open only want a lot from you where it's time or activity and you're just not into that, then by all means, look into a fully open server. There are some fully open servers that are doing quite a good job. I know 72 has added quite a few people last season, this season, getting a little bit stronger. So look at a fully open server maybe for if your doesn't fit your activity level. As you move up into a semi-open server, I would take your activity and think about it from a perspective of, do you want to play this game often and care about the server you're in? Because the expectations for you to be in that server may be to show up for wars, make sure you're fighting, helping Alliance contribute to that server. And really for the limited open servers, they are really expecting you to come into that server and participate, if not on the top team or the second team, on whatever third team they're populating or fourth team they're populating. They have a system, they're looking to build, they're taking the game seriously, and they need your help if you want to take them seriously as well. So, a lot of these things for limited open, they don't even want white chairs, a lot of them. So you have to understand with these servers and the way that developers do this right now, is the people that go to servers, if you're not active and you just or quit or you're not or you just play, you log in and you collect, you're counting towards that server for their server points. And although the server wants your activity and participation at server war, if you don't show up for wars and you just sit there and log in, you actually hurt the server's server score. So they can't get more active people in if you don't leave. So some servers have gone to actually burning people out of the server to try to force you to leave to make your experience bad. Not a nice way of doing things, but the reason why they're doing that is because they're trying to get more active people to their server. Not just that they don't want the power, they don't want the fact that you may be not active during wars, and they want to be more active during wars. Very important for you to understand the distinction of what they're trying to do in the game. And just help with that by putting yourself into the right server. So go through all the servers and take that and figure that out into mind. Think about who you are, what you're looking for, and go ahead and go then and pick your servers out. I'd pick multiple, by the way, when you're looking at them. Now, once you kind of figure out if you want a semi-open, limited, fully open, that's just the beginning of this journey. You now need to determine which server do you want, right? So you know what chair you are by at the home at the very bottom. It shows you what chair you actually are and where you're going to fit in for that server. And so from a mid-spender, you may be, so if you're a free-to-play low spender, you're probably in this mark. It's going to be hard if you are a white chair trying to go to a very strong server, unless you know a wanted gold or purple person that's going to be saying, hey, that's my guy, they're really good, they're really active, and vouching for you. It's going to be hard for you to even get into the server. But if you're very good and you're active, then they may want, and I'm just generalizing, by the way, there may be a very strong server that loves to bring in as many white chairs as possible. I'm just generalizing from the conversations that I've had with many different strong servers in this journey. Now, if you're a blue chair and you're a light blue chair, again, you're likely, if you're trying to go to a very strong server, you're going to need to know somebody in here. But high blue chairs are incredibly wanted in this journey through all servers. Everybody wants high blue chairs. Blue chairs are so valuable. People look at it and go, oh my God, purples are valuable. High blues are incredibly valuable. If you are on that purple-blue line, then yeah, it's a great thing for you. And then purple, clearly, if you are in the upper between the gold and purple line, you are going to have zero problem. Probably the easiest person to transfer in this entire pool. And then you have the low purples, which is a little bit harder. You're going to probably need to know somebody as well over here. But those semi-opens, will probably look to have you as well. So if you're thinking about a semi-open or a fully open, low purple, you can pretty much go to one of these. Not going to be a problem. Limited opens might be a little bit picky on their purples because they only get 3. All right. One of the things that servers take into account, depending on your server, is they may look for only power. Some may look for unity and family and people that are going to come together as a group, because they know if you travel in a pack, you're probably more likely to stay there in a pack, as opposed to if you split out and you come alone and your other friends go in another server, you may get homesick, if you will, and then next transfer want to leave and go with those. So actually, smart servers want to bring a group of people together happy. So try to get into that group with your friends and travel in a light group, by the way. If you start to get really big, it's very difficult. So a light pack is a good pack in this experience that I've had. Now, when you get down to the type of server that you're looking for, or what you're looking for activity, you're going to have to choose which servers you want to go to, and this becomes very time consuming. I cannot tell you how much time I've spent going through all of these servers, knowing how many in the server group of 128. There are so many servers. You have to go through every single one and figure it out. So I will tell you one of the things that you want to take into account that's very important to me. And I chose to go to server 118. And I'll tell you how that journey actually started. One of the things, someone messaged me from that server that I know and told me to consider them. I said, I was never considering 118. But because they messaged me, I said, let me see what they're about. Now, I just got out of a season with server 190. Okay? Server presidents are incredibly important when you look over what they do and who they are. Okay? When you go into these servers and you look. Now, presidents that sit here and try to do things like this, where they're all about themselves, you'll see this. Who is this about? This president's about Smoothie. Look, he only cares about Smoothie. Like, here's his moment. Smoothie did this. I'm Mr. Smoothie. All about Smoothie. Here's about Smoothie, right? And here's more about Smoothie, entering how handsome and all these things, right? Very isolated on his moments to himself. It's very personal. He's not celebrating his server. His team just won. His server just won the first and second place. You would think he would celebrate himself. Well, if you win first and second place, you'd also have to ask yourself in a server like this, why would the person who's second in total hero power after finishing second leave the server? Yeah, they're leaving the server. This is the second season in a row that they had a bunch of people leaving the server. Why? Why? Because a president like this who only worries about themselves is not a place you want to go. Now, when I looked at 118, look at the difference that I can show you as I looked at these president of seeing what Doberman's moments look like. His moments were very team-oriented, very server-oriented. This is a leader. Like, this is somebody you want to follow. This is somebody you want who has the entire server in mind, the team in mind, not just worried about themselves. This is an actual leader. And so immediately I took notice when somebody asked me, hey, consider us. These are the type of things that I love to see in moments for your president. How liked are they? And how do they feel? I would also say for you to look, this is just a highlight of this server. Generally, if you go in and you go into the other teams in this server, you will want to see if other teams, alliances that are lower powered, how they are being treated on the server. How are they liked? How do they like their experience there? They'll tell you if they're not being treated properly, or they don't like it there, or they're not support the server. It's going to start giving you tips of things to think about. I might end up on one of those teams. I don't know that I want to be there. So you want to also take messages and look at some of the other alliances on that server. Okay? So those are some things to consider. Another thing to consider is server longevity. How long is that server going to be around? So if you have a server that bounces with people in migration where people are leaving, people are coming, people are leaving, and they're going back and forth, there's no stability. That server, you may just find yourself having to move again soon. As opposed to, if you look at the power of that server, how many people have they been able to migrate in over the last couple seasons? You want to look at not only top end power, but you want to look at the basically everybody in here who's very powerful to see. As you can see, this server was very deep. They have a lot of different people that are even over 200 million. Very good. Top end power they have, and it is something to look at, by the way. You don't ignore it. It just shouldn't be necessarily the driving decision on where you go. But in this one, you have your top end power, and it's very good as well. You have 3 people over 300 million. So you want to chart out yourself how many 300 million, 400 million, 500, just so you know where that server really stands. And this is a very high-end powerful server and checks those boxes. So when you're making your decision and going through that, these are all things you want to take into account. I will say, knowing that I made the right decision for our team is incredibly satisfying. These folks actually messaged all of my team members. I've migrated 4 separate times. This is my 4th time migrating, and I've never had a server president and other members of that server reach out to my entire team prior to a migration. I've had them reach out, obviously, to me or my other powerful, purple people or gold, but never everybody on the team. Anybody who's blue seat or white seat, everybody received a message. And I really want to just point that out because I think in the future, if you're trying to get people to go to your server, these are leaders of how you should be acquiring people. This is a migration example of just amazing proportions of how you should be treating people in the game, how you should be treating your server in the game, how you should be celebrating wins and losses together and treating everybody as a family. It's very exciting to want to go there, and I highly encourage people in the future, reach out. But for yourself, I think you also have to understand and keep in mind, when you reach out during migration to one of these servers, in the server presidents that you're talking to, make sure you don't give them some time to respond to you. They are getting so many messages. It is incredibly hard for them to not only fill these seats, right? You have 106 seats right here. Not only fill those seats of 106, they're getting 200, 300, 400 transfer people that come in. They're trying to organize and figure out who are they, who do they go through. They're trying to have those conversations. The season stops and immediately hits everybody in the face with this information. If you do not hear a response, please do not immediately respond back. I would treat this as a real life interview. Go in, talking to this president, show respect to that president. Let them know who you are, prepare where you came from, prepare why you want to transfer to them. And if you've moved multiple times, prepare to explain yourself why you've moved multiple times. Have all that ready. Be prepped. This is a big deal to move to another server. It should be anyway. You care about your game. It's going to really change your game experience and how you play based on where you go. Okay. Last thing I will just point out from a requirement standpoint, the language that the server speaks or prefers is also on here. Take that into account. If you want to list your game experience, if it bothers you to hit translate button, then you may not want to go to other servers. So if you are somebody who is Korean and you don't want to go to an English language speaking where it's dominant, you're hitting translate all the time, then just find a Korean server. Everything is out here. It certainly isn't like, oh, I can't find a server. You're just not trying hard enough. So hopefully these tips help you and make you feel more comfortable on your next transfer. Also, if you are free to play low spend, I'm going to leave you with this. Make sure, if you're free to play low spend, that you are getting transfer tickets all the time. Make sure you have your 50 stocked and ready. It's not about whether you're going to transfer or not. It's about that you're free to play and low spend, and you never know what happens on your server. You don't want to have to spend money to leave. You don't even spend money on drone components. You certainly don't want to spend money to move transfers. So it's not about using the tickets. It's about if the crap hits the fan, you need to be able to transfer. You want to at least have the option free at your disposal. Okay? Any other questions or any way I can help with a future migration or question, please let me know. With that, QB18 out.